Is this you? Whenever you're in an interaction, a negotiation, a phone call, a Zoom call, it's really important to remember, what is my EDO? What is my exact desired outcome from this call? And a lot of times you can get caught up in the emotion, the aggression, and you can let things slip away from you such that you totally end up destroying your EDO or exact desired income. So I wanted to give you a couple examples of that. Sean, who I've mentored for a long time, has done several acquisitions. He's a seller finance guy, and he gets them all done that way. But he asked me last week if he could talk. So we set up a meeting to talk. And he said he wanted to run some things by me about his current acquisition. And it was an issue with the seller, where the seller was saying, I'm not comfortable with the way we're doing this and the business we're going after here, and this problem and that problem, some employee problems. There was a whole host of things. And so he said, basically the seller said, I want to unwrap this deal and undo this acquisition. And he ended up saying, what do you think, Bruce? I'm inclined to just tell him to go fuck himself. And I said, well, you can do that. But what is it you hope to accomplish from that? And maybe it would be more productive if you were to say to him, what if we did this and this and this and this to work on the issues that you think are there? And then we've done a deal. It's important that we stay committed to what we said we were going to do. And so let's do those first, and then let's look and see what happens. And he said, okay, well, that makes sense. And it reminded me, and I am not immune to this, certainly, of a few things that happened to me. I was in my corporate career, a negotiation, big automotive negotiation with a big automotive company. And there were probably 20 people around that room. And we were in the middle of a negotiation. It started to get really tense. And the VP of sales, who I reported to, said to the head of purchasing, could you have your secretary call and book us on some later flights? And the head of purchasing said, when's your flight? And he said, VP of sales said, it's in an hour and a half or whatever it was, I can't remember. And he said, you're going to have no problem making that because this is over. So we ended up saying, would it be okay if we took a break for a few minutes? So we took a break. We thought about it. We thought about how to de-escalate the situation, and then we came back into the meeting, and the VP of sales says, you can get security to take us out of this meeting, but there's some common ground here, and that's really the only way we're going to leave is if you get security. And so calmer heads had come around during that pause, and we were able to stay and we were able to negotiate. An example where I was not immune. I had a contractor working for me on these renovations at our homes here, and for probably 6 years, or was 6 years. And at the very end, there was a job that he really didn't want to do, but I talked him into doing it. It became more and more of a nuisance to him that aggravated him. And so basically, we got into a fight. And that fight and that argument escalated to the point that he walked off the job. He and I don't speak anymore. He has no interest in doing anything with me, and vice versa, actually. Now, if I had remembered, okay, what's my exact desired outcome from this interaction? It could have been a case where we said, look, both of us are getting a little heated here. Let's take a break. So I would encourage you, not only in those cases to take a break and take a breath, but also to think about how you frame things. And at the end of this, I want to play a clip from Chris Voss, an excellent negotiator, used to be a hostage negotiator. And he talks about how to basically de-escalate a situation that you might be in. Great example. If you haven't seen his work on negotiation, he has a master class, is really, really good. So I want to play that for you. But remember, the first reaction oftentimes is to Forget what your exact desired outcome is. Get hooked into an emotional discussion. And that's one of the advantages in a board of directors for you, is that to be able to have some calm heads in the chaos that have been through this, can advise you on alternate ways to do things, really can take your aggression, which is a good thing, and temper that where it's needed to be tempered so that you do get your exact desired outcome. So I hope that helps. Listen to this clip. If these videos are helpful to you, like and subscribe on these. You know how to do that and hit the buttons. Also, if you're looking for how to start conversations, go over to brucewhipple.com. You're going to see conversation starters there. Just enter your email and those will be sent to you as well. If you want to go there directly, just brucewhipple.com/get-class. But all of these things are really important when you're interacting with people. Normally, when you're negotiating, this is new ground for you. You haven't been in tense situations like that. So learn the lessons of how to de-escalate, learn the lessons of taking a break. A lot of people don't do that. It's tremendously powerful at the right time. But I hope that helps, and I hope you put that into action.
I'm in Whole Foods the other day. So I order up the salmon and the guy weighs it and packages it. And I don't want the salmon that he just went through all this trouble of making for me. What's his reaction? This guy's a jerk. So what do? I call it out in advance. Look, I know I'm going to seem like a complete jerk. I don't want that salmon anymore. I want this salmon. He goes, oh, okay. And he just pops it out of the bag, throws the bag away, doesn't bat an eye, quickly swaps me out, and I'm on my way. If I need you to comply right now, and I cannot waste time on your negative pushback, I need to go as deep as possible with a label for me so that you don't go there. Instead of me saying, look, I don't want this to sound disrespectful, I say, it's going to sound disrespectful. And I will have deactivated that negative reaction. It works every time.